Hi, this is Adam. This is another Eye on North Carolina blog. We are here in Asheboro, North Carolina at the North Carolina Zoo. I'm here with Public Relations Manager Rod Hackney, who's going to tell us more about the zoo and Patches the polar bear. Rod, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to have you with us. Patches is our new polar bear. She arrived from the Erie, Pennsylvania Zoo back in October, and she's doing extremely well. Polar bears have been probably the most popular animal at the zoo since we opened this exhibit in 1994. And over those years we've had a variety of different bears in here. Right now we're down to one. We would like to have as many as 3 or 4 more eventually. We are in the last phase of constructing an $8.5 million expansion of the polar bear exhibit that would enable us to hold up to 4 or 5 additional bears, to also be able to have a mother with a den and cubs. And so that's the long-range goal of this exhibit, is to be able to someday develop a breeding group of polar bears, because there's a great shortage of them in the wild, as everyone knows. Climate change is threatening their hunting grounds, and because of that, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has banned importing polar bears from other countries into this country, so we can't get them from outside the United States. They have to come from zoos within the United States. And so in order to sustain that captive population, we need to have a viable breeding population of bears in zoos, and that's what we're working on.
That's great. And can you kind of describe what's happening in the wild with their diminished resources and food resources that they're experiencing due to climate change?
Well, due to climate change, they're losing about 2 to 3 months of their hunting season at the beginning and end. It's staying warmer longer and getting warmer earlier. And so they are losing about 2 to 3 months of what would normally be their 6-month hunting season. And that's the period during the winter when they eat ring seals, and they build up the fat storage that allows them to be able to survive through the winter, but also encourages breeding. So if they're not well fed, they're not only having trouble surviving those tough winters up in Alaska and around the North Pole, but also they're not capable of breeding as well. So the number of cubs is dropping. And so it's a double effect of losing the adult animals and not producing new ones that's causing the shortage, and it's a very, very serious problem. And through exhibits like these, zoos are trying to raise awareness of the public of that problem and trying to gain their support in conservation efforts for polar bears.
Do you think there will be more of a public outcry about what's going on and maybe influence kind of, you know, let's get more support for them and
I think it's already starting. I think, you know, people are done. You know, 10 years ago, nobody knew what a carbon footprint was.
Right.
Now everybody's aware of their own impact on the environment.
Right.
And that's part of the bigger problem that faces polar bears and the melting of the ice, is that we're staying warmer longer.
Right.
And so we hope that through exhibits like this, people will learn what they can do as individuals to help reduce carbon emissions, to help reduce the melting of the ice caps, and to hopefully save what is obviously the most wonderful carnivore in North America, and certainly one of the most iconic animals that any zoo could have.
Definitely. And Patches is beautiful, just like every other polar bear out there.
Absolutely.
So we're here at the new polar bear exhibit that's supposed to open very soon. Kind of describe the design and what you wanted to accomplish with this new exhibit.
Our older exhibit features a very large deep pool, which gives the polar bears the opportunity to swim. We wanted to offer a similar kind of experience, but not the same experience in the expansion area. So instead of a very deep pool, we have a more shallow stream, similar to the kinds of streams you can find in Alaska where they're found in the wild. And so you can see our design staff right now, they build these artificial rock formations right down to hand painting them. And then when this is completed, there will be about a 3 or 4 foot stream that will be flowing into the viewing area to give you the impression that you're in an Alaska glade with a stream flowing through the middle.
And how long did it take to get that piping system in. That must have been
This whole
tough.
project has taken about 3.5 years to do.
Okay.
So, and some of that was construction delays because of the terrain here, where maybe you are in National Forest here, where we have a lot of these volcanic rock, and very seldom do we start building a foundation that we don't get about 6 inches below the ground level and start having to blast rock out. And it always takes longer than we originally expect to put foundations and pipes and things of that nature in. You can see that our horse staff has installed a lot of the trees that will give us that natural look.
Right.
And it's very nearing completion. We were hoping to unveil this in late summer of 2014.
Great. And I like, not only do you have the stream, but you do have that land that they can roam around.
Right. They have options here. They have a lot of options. They have the pool they can swim, the deep pool they can swim in. The stream they can wade in. There's a cave up here where if it's too hot in the summer, they can get into the shade.
That's great.
And then various kinds of different surfaces. We have grass. We have rock. We have a little bit of everything to give them the options and to give them a feel for different kinds of terrain.
Can we check out just on the edge there?
Sure,
just to see how
absolutely.
deep it is?
Sure. Rehabilitation Center has been open about 10 years, and it was designed to treat injured and abandoned native animals. Red-tailed hawks, owls, snakes, turtles, squirrels, just about anything you can think of, with the exception of deer. But the North Carolina Wildlife Commission will not let us treat deer. But other than that, there's a broad range of animals that come into the rehab center every year and are treated, and if possible are released back into the wild.
And why aren't you guys allowed to treat the deer?
I think it has something to do with the diseases they carry, that we're not allowed to treat them, and also having to do with the control of the population of deer. As you know, probably there are more deer now than there were when the Pilgrims landed.
Right.
So the deer have really exploded in population over the last 50 years. So, poison dart frogs. I think about a half a dozen, but I'm not sure. I haven't kept up with the count.
And is there breeding between them here, or
No, there are plenty of them in zoos, and we have all we need, so we're not breeding these right now. Now, there are many other birds in here that we do breed. This is just not one of them. It was constructed in 1980 and 81, and it was opened to the public in 1982. It's our oldest indoor exhibit, the first indoor exhibit.
Oh wow.
Collector's parrot. Got banana trees and pineapple plants, all kinds of tropical stuff here. That's an introduction bed. When they first introduce a bird to the aviary, instead of just turning them loose, they let them spend a few days in the tent to get accustomed to the surroundings before they release them out into the full dawn.
Here's the Victoria Crown Pigeon. Funny looking guy. Going into the wild miniature jungle here.
Kids crank this, the body of the firefly lights up.
Nice. So here's the biodome that they're constructing, where all the bugs will be sheltered in.
Right.
Now, will there be an entrance, or you just watch from out?
Yeah,
from
you
the,
go inside.
Go inside. Really cool. So here we are at the gorilla exhibit.
Yeah. That is Bomasa.
Bomasa.
He was the firstborn, and then there's another one that's just a month younger named Apollo. And these both youngsters were born in August of 2012.
Well, they're still out here during this weather.
Yep. Hardier than you would think.
Yeah. Look at this little guy.
For her hands, and she could like grab on to it. Yeah, it was,
So cute.
but she had to like go through this maze.
Looks like he's having something to eat. Just basking in the glory of the hay there.
She watched it.
Oh. Taking a nap.
Like I want to say like Eon or Neon Flux or something like that.